On the 17th of May 1976, Celtic fans came together to celebrate the careers of two club legends. It ended up being an even more poignant and significant moment than had originally been planned. Manchester United travelled north to Glasgow. They did so as Celtic's opponents in a testimonial game being held for Johnstone and Bobby Lennox. To say the least, Johnstone and Lennox are revered as two of the most important names in Celtic's history. Johnstone spent 13 years in the hoops and became one of the club's most influential players. As a member of the Lisbon Lions, he scored 130 goals in 515 appearances and contributed to the team's record of 9 consecutive league titles. Born in View Park in 1944, Johnstone joined Celtic in November 1961, shortly after turning 17. He made his senior debut on the 27th of March 1963 in a 6-0 defeat to Kilmarnock, but he quickly responded by scoring his first goal a month later against Hearts. His progress earned him a place in the 1963 Scottish Cup final, where he impressed in a 1-1 draw with Rangers, although Celtic went on to lose the replay. Johnstone's career advanced significantly after Jock Stein became manager in March 1965. Under Stein's leadership, he became central to Celtic's domestic and European success. In Celtic's Lisbon season, Johnstone was at the top of his game. He scored twice at Ibrox in Celtic's league-winning match, and in Europe he was just as important. This was particularly in matches against Nantes and in the semi-final against Dukla Prague, where he got the opening goal. Arguably his most famed European performance came in 1968. Red Star Belgrade came to Celtic Park and were destroyed 5-1 by the Celts. Jinky was the star man, and he had an obvious motivation for this. He was afraid of flying, and Stein promised him he didn't have to go to the away leg if the game was over after the Glasgow tie. Domestically, Johnstone was also a huge contributor throughout Celtic's 9 consecutive league championships, running from 1966 to 1974. His total of 130 goals in all competitions places him amongst the club's leading scorers. Before Henrik Larsson, Johnstone held the record for the most European goals scored by a Celtic player. His final league goals came in December 1974, when he scored twice in a 6-0 victory over Dundee. Johnstone left Celtic in 1975 and later played in the United States, as well as for several English and Scottish clubs. However, Celtic remained the team with which he was most closely associated and celebrated. This is best shown by 2002, when Celtic fans voted him the club's greatest ever player. There is also a statue outside Celtic Park that commemorates him at his jinking best. Bobby Lennox was also a key figure for Celtic and one of the club's longest serving players, representing the team in the 1960s, 1970s and 1980s. Born in Saltcoats on the 30th of August 1943, Lennox joined Celtic in September 1961 and he made his debut in March 1962. He performed well, but like Johnstone, it was after Jock Stein's arrival that his time in green and white truly blossomed. Playing mainly on the left wing, Lennox was recognised for his speed, direct approach and finishing. His pace earned him the nickname Buzzball. Across his Celtic career, he scored 277 goals in 586 matches, ranking him as the club's second highest goalscorer. Lennox's greatest moment came as part of victory in Lisbon in 1967. He also played in Milan in 1970 when Celtic lost. This makes him, and also Johnstone, part of the 7 Celts who have played in 2 European Cup finals. Domestically, Lennox was central to Celtic's long period of success. He won 11 league titles and contributed to the team's dominance of Scottish football. His reliability was remarkable. He scored in 17 consecutive seasons from 1963-64 to 1979-80, placing him second in Celtic's all-time records. In 1978, Lennox briefly moved to the USA to join the Houston Hurricane, before returning to Celtic later that year, He continued to play until his retirement in 1980. His final match was the 1980 Scottish Cup final, a 1-0 victory over Rangers, and his last goal came in the semi-final against Hibernian. At international level, Lennox earned 10 caps for Scotland and scored 3 goals, including one in the 3-2 win over England at Wembley in 1967, when Scotland became the unofficial world champions. Lennox's contributions were recognised through several honours. He was awarded an MBE in 1981, inducted into the Scottish Football Museum Hall of Fame in 2005, and is commemorated with a statue in Saltcoats in 2018. As such, these two men were well deserving of celebration by the club. So in 1976, the visit of the Red Devils gave the chance to cheer on two club legends. It attracted almost 50,000 supporters to Glasgow's East End, despite a miserable and rainy night in the city, and it thus earned the two men around £50,000 each. There was also another hugely significant aspect to the game as well. Season 1975-76 had been an unusual one. In July 1975, Jock Stein was involved in a horrific car crash which almost cost him his life. Although he survived, Stein was unable to act as manager for the season, and so assistant boss Sean Fallon stepped up. The Lennox and Johnstone testimonial was the first time that Celtic's greatest manager was back in the Celtic dugout, a fact that was loudly cheered by all those present in Celtic Park. In advance of the game, one newspaper headline summed up the issue, saying simply, "Mr. Celtic is back." There was another that included a quote from the big man, confirming he wasn't just back as a one-off, it was going to be a long-term position. And in the end, Stein remained as boss until 1978, having won the 1977 title. Before the match, there was some alternative entertainment. A game of former professionals was refereed by the comedian Billy Connolly, who jokingly wore a Rangers shirt, scarf and tammy. He even had to be stretchered off only 10 minutes into the match. The boys' team included a guest appearance from David Hay, who was by then a Chelsea player. However, the two most important men were of course Johnstone and Lennox. Their team went on to have a great night. After 32 minutes, the opening goal of the game was scored. Fittingly, it came from one of the men who was being celebrated. Bobby Lennox put his team in front. By the time the interval arrived, this remained the only goal. In the second half, one name stood out above all others, but it wasn't Johnstone or Lennox. Instead, the star of the show was Kenny Dalglish, a man who would later go on to torment United and other English teams when he made the move to Liverpool. Dalglish got his first of the night 4 minutes after the restart. 22 minutes later, he doubled his tally for the night and put the Celts 3 goals to the good. Then, with 10 minutes remaining, the hat-trick was completed, as was all the scoring for the night. 4 goals, lots of entertainment, but most importantly, Celtic supporters were able to truly celebrate the phenomenal contributions of Johnstone and Lennox. The two men were acclaimed as they carried out a lap of honour in front of the cheering fans. Lennox was at this point still a Celt, but Johnstone had moved on, so the little winger was then given his own individual walk, which culminated in him throwing his boots into the terracing. Celtic's greatest 11 is of course the men who triumphed in Portugal in 1967. 2 of those figures, Bobby Lennox and Jimmy Johnstone, are rightly revered. One night in 1976, the Celtic fans were able to show just how much they meant to the club. If you want to learn more about Celtic history, follow Hail Hail History on Twitter X and Blue Sky. You can also take part in free Celtic walking tours. Visit celticwalkingtours.wordpress.com for more information.